Dear students, welcome to the Learning Lockdown Initiative of AKPCTA. I am Vipin Sibos, working as Assistant Professor in the Department of Physics of SN College, Chembal. Today I am discussing about the chapter Interference of Classical and Modern Optics. Let us come to the topic. We know that interference is the superposition of two or more waves. A wave has crust and trough. The crust of one wave falls on the crust of another wave, or the trough of one wave falls on the trough of another wave, then the amplitude of the wave increases. The crust of one wave falls on the trough of another wave, then the amplitude decreases. But intensity of the wave is directly proportional to the square of the amplitude of the wave. That means crust of one wave falls on the crust of another wave, the intensity of the wave at that point increases. When the crust of one wave falls on the trough of another wave, then the intensity at the point decreases. This indicates that there is a modification in the distribution of light energy at a point due to superposition of waves. That means interference is the phenomenon of modification in the distribution of light energy in a region due to superposition of waves from two or more sources. For an interference to take place, the two sources must be coherent. Coherent sources are those sources which emit continuous waves of same wavelength or frequency, and they vibrate either in same phase or with constant phase difference. In addition to this condition, the waves are of same amplitude, then there will be good contrast between brightness and darkness. And what is meant by superposition principle? When two or more light waves are superimposed over a continuous medium, then the resultant displacement is the vector sum of the displacement due to individual waves. If y1 and y2 are the displacement of two waves, then the resultant displacement y is equal to plus or minus y1 plus or minus y2. Consider two sine waves are in the same frequency, reaching a point with a constant phase difference between the waves. The two waves can be represented by the equations y1 is equal to a sin omega t, where a is the amplitude and omega is the angular frequency, and y2 is equal to b sin omega t plus phi, where phi is the constant phase difference between the waves and b is the amplitude of the second. Therefore, the resultant amplitude at the point is given by y is equal to y1 plus y2. That is equal to a sin omega t plus b sin omega t plus phi. Here, sin omega t plus phi is of the order of sin a plus b, that is equal to sin a cos b plus cos a sin b. Therefore, y is equal to a sin omega t plus b sin omega t cos phi plus b cos omega t sin phi, that is y is equal to sin omega t into a plus b cos phi plus cos omega t into b sin phi. If r is the amplitude of the resultant wave and theta is the phase angle, then the resultant displacement y is equal to r sin omega t plus theta, that is y is equal to r sin omega t cos theta plus r cos omega t sin phi. From these two equations, that is equations 1 and 2, we can write r cos theta is equal to a plus b cos phi and r sin theta is equal to b sin phi. Squaring and adding equation 3 and 4, we get r square is equal to a square plus b square plus 2ab cos phi. Again, from equations 3 and 4, we get tan theta is equal to b sin phi divided by a plus b cos phi. The amplitude of the two waves are equal, then equation 5 becomes r square is equal to a square plus 2a square cos phi. That is r square is equal to 2a square into 1 plus cos square. But you know that 1 plus cos theta is equal to 2 cos square theta by 2. Therefore, r square is equal to 4a square into cos square phi by 2, from which r is equal to plus or minus 2a cos phi by 2. If the phase difference phi is equal to 0, then r is equal to plus or minus 2a, or r square is equal to 4a square. If phi is equal to 2 pi, that means the phase difference is equal to 2 pi, then again r square is equal to 4a square. That is, again if phi is equal to 4 pi, again r square is equal to 4a square. That means the waves are in same phase, then r square or intensity is equal to 4a square. That is, when phi is equal to 2n pi, where n is equal to 0, 1, 2, 3, etc. That is, the waves are in same phase, or the path difference is an integral multiple of lambda, then the intensity is maximum. You know that phase difference is equal to 2 pi by lambda into path difference. That is, if phi is equal to 2n pi or path difference is equal to L lambda, then the intensity is maximum. When phi is equal to pi, then r is equal to 0, that means intensity is 0. When phi is equal to 3 pi, again intensity is 0. That means when phi is equal to 2n plus 1 into pi, where n is equal to 0, 1, 2, 3, etc. That is, the waves are out of phase, or the path difference is an odd multiple of lambda, then the intensity is 0. The phenomenon of interference is divided into two classes. First one is interference due to division of wavefront. In this case, the incident wavefront is divided into two parts, either by reflection or refraction. These two parts of the same wavefront travel unequal distances and reunited on the screen to produce interference fringes. Examples are Young's double slit experiment, biprism arrangement, double mirror, Coul's mirror. Second one is interference due to division of amplitude. Here the amplitude of the incoming wave is divided into two parts, either by partial reflection or refraction. These divided beams interfere after traveling different paths. Examples are Newton's rings experiment, then Michelson interferometer, parallel and wedge-shaped films. Now the terms coherence length and coherence time. The average duration of a wave train is known as coherence time. That is the time for which the electric field remains sinusoidal. Within this type, at any point, the electric field will have definite relationship between the phase and distance travelled. Coherence length is the length of the wave train corresponding to coherence time. It is the length of the wave which is continuous without any interruption. Now we come to Young's double slit experiment. The experiment arrangement is shown in figure. S is a narrow slit which is illuminated by the monochromatic source of light. The light from the source S is passed through the slits S1 and S2, which are kept at equal distances from S. The waves from S1 and S2 interfere each other because they are coherent sources, and we get alternate dark and bright bands on the screen AB. At the center O of the screen, we get a bright band because the path difference between the waves from S1 and S2 to reach the point O is 0. Let d be the distance between the slits and capital D be the distance from the slit to the screen. Consider a point P on the screen which is at a distance x from the center. Therefore, the path difference between the two waves reaching the point P is equal to S2P minus S1P.